everyone, and welcome to another installment of Erin's Book Club. I just finished a book, and I really need to do a review on it because I absolutely loved it. So the book that I finished, as you guys know, I'm actually working through the Dragon Riders of Pern series. And the book that I've just finished was Dragon Riders of Pern by Anne McCaffrey and Todd McCaffrey, called Dragon's Kin. And I have to say, when you've had a really good friend all your life, and maybe you haven't talked to that good friend in a while, and finally you do, and it's just like slipping on an old pair of jeans that you love, or everything just kind of slips in together. That's what I felt like with this book. And it's really an interesting concept because up to this point I have been reading about the dragon riders and the dragons of Pern, and they've been getting a lot of the limelight because of course they're the heroes that fight the thread. But this book, aptly named Dragon's Kin, was written about something totally different, and I was absolutely thrilled to hear that it was written by a type of genetic similarity to the dragons, but it's almost an uglier, rougher version of the dragons called watchwares that are nocturnal animals, and they were bred originally, I think, written as a mistake by one of the geneticists when they were trying to get the Dragon Riders of Pern, the dragons, settled. So these apparently watchwires are dragon-ish with tiny little wings, and they're nocturnal and they see in heat signature. Now, up to this point, these dragons were looked at as like a subpar species, like beneath the dragons. And the book touched on that kind of class structure of the dragons. Like, even within the dragons, there's a class structure on the different colors being of a different value. And then, like, these watchwires were like below even that. They were almost like vermin. And they touched on how some dragon riders are really posh and they don't like the watchwires, and some of them are accepting of the watchwires. And it was totally written on that aspect of a lesser species and what they have to struggle through. And not only what they have to struggle through, but also what the humans bonded to them do. And the difference in the bonding of the dragons. Like with the dragons, you bond by impression when the egg hatches, the dragon then chooses you. Whereas I guess the bonding with these ones are you have to cut yourself and have them suck the blood out of you to bond with them. But even that changes. And the complaint throughout the story was how there was absolutely no lore with these dragons because everybody thought they were beneath learning about because they had no value, when in reality they were very important. They were kind of like the canaries in the coal mine, and they had immense value that people didn't see. And I think that's the concept that excited me with this book, to look beyond what you see, to see the value within, and the ones that are what you think would be lesser than you actually can do a lot and are more powerful than you could ever think. It also had a good example of the family life of the holders and not necessarily the dragon riders. It was so refreshing to read a book about the lesser known aspects of the world. But let me read the back of it so you guys know a little bit of what I'm talking about. Okay, so the son of a miner, Kindin, has no expectations for any other life. He loves his lessons with the camp's harper, but music isn't part of a miner's future. He also enjoys helping out with the camp's watchwire, a creature distantly related to dragons and uniquely suited to work in the dark, cold spaces. But even that important job can't promise a future above ground. Then disaster strikes. In one terrible instant, Kindin loses his family, and the camp loses its watchwire. It will take a new friendship and new responsibility to teach Kindin that even seemingly impossible dreams is never out of reach, and that light can be found in the darkest places. This doesn't do it justice. This book was absolutely wonderful. It was a page turner. I flew through this. I can't wait to order the next book. Just an all in all really great read. and very excited to move on to the next one. So thank you guys for listening to me talk to you about this book, and I will let you know when I have another book read. Thanks so much, guys.